Ladies and gentlemen, just yesterday afternoon, President Trump sent a very clear message to terrorists worldwide. You see, the terrorist Houthis just got an explosive surprise courtesy of the United States of America. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Houthis are a radical Islamic terrorist group in Yemen. Over the last 2 years, the Houthis have been terrorizing shipping lanes, attacking cargo ships, and disrupting maritime trade flowing in and out of the Red Sea. And you know what? Let's be very clear. This isn't some minor inconvenience for global commerce. This is outright piracy and terrorism. You see, as of late, the Houthis have been very busy. Since 2023, the Houthis have launched over 100 attacks on merchant vessels. They've sunk 2 ships, they've killed 4 sailors, and they've caused hundreds of billions of dollars in economic damage. They've been acting with complete and total impunity until now. You see, like I said, just yesterday, President Trump authorized overwhelming military strikes, and let's just say the Houthis are quickly learning what happens when you mess with American interests under a real commander-in-chief. And so, folks, with all of that said, I think the best way to really kick off today's video is to hear directly from President Trump about what exactly happened yesterday. As President Trump posted yesterday evening, "Today, I have ordered the United States military to launch decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen. They have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones." Joe Biden's response was pathetically weak, so the unrestrained Houthis just kept going. It has been over a year since a U.S.-flagged commercial ship safely sailed through the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, or the Gulf of Aden. The last American warship to go through the Red Sea 4 months ago was attacked by the Houthis over a dozen times. Funded by Iran, the Houthi thugs have fired missiles at U.S. aircraft and targeted our troops and allies. These relentless assaults have cost the U.S. and world economy many billions of dollars while at the same time putting innocent lives at risk. The Houthi attacks on American vessels will not be tolerated. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective. The Houthis have choked off shipping in one of the most important waterways of the world, grinding vast swaths of global commerce to a halt and attacking the core principle of freedom of navigation upon which international trade and commerce depends. Our brave warfighters are right now carrying out aerial attacks on the terrorists' bases, leaders, and missile defenses to protect American shipping, air, and naval assets, and to restore navigational freedom. No terrorist force will stop American commercial and naval vessels from freely sailing the waterways of the world. To all Houthi terrorists, your time is up and your attacks must stop, starting today. If they don't, hell will rain down upon you like nothing you have ever seen before. To Iran, support for the Houthi terrorists must end immediately. Do not threaten the American people, their president, who has received one of the largest mandates in presidential history, or worldwide shipping lanes. If you do, beware, because America will hold you fully accountable and we will not be nice about it. So folks, there you have it. President Trump is not playing around. These terrorists thought that they could continue on attacking American interests without any consequences. Well, now they're about to find out just how terribly wrong they were. Now, I want to break all of this down with you guys, but before we do that, I want to say real quick that if you guys enjoy the daily news coverage here, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a lot with my daily struggle against the YouTube algorithm. But okay, let's get into the real details here. First off, the Houthis haven't just been targeting commercial vessels. They've also repeatedly attempted to attack U.S. military personnel operating in the region. The Biden administration let these attacks continue unanswered for over a year, and by doing so, only emboldened these terrorists. Trump, on the other hand, just delivered real consequences. In fact, take a look at this special report.
John, these are the most significant airstrikes since President Trump returned to the White House, and the first time U.S. jets have struck these Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen since President Trump returned to the White House. U.S. officials say F-18 Super Hornets from the flight deck of the USS Harry S. Truman were the vanguard of the strikes, along with Air Force fighter jets and drones. President Trump announcing the strikes just a few minutes ago on his Truth Social, saying, quote, Today I have ordered the United States military to launch decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen. They have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones. Joe Biden's response was pathetically weak, so the unrestrained Houthis just kept going. And John, recall, it was just days after taking office, one of President Trump's first executive orders was redesignating the Houthis a foreign terrorist organization after the Biden administration removed them. The State Department made it official earlier this month, marking Houthi leaders ripe for assassination. The targets in today's strikes include air defense systems and missile and drone factories, and also include a strike against one of the Houthis' top missile officers. The Houthis are backed by Iran. Many consider them modern-day Barbary pirates. Since the October 7th massacre, they have launched over 100 attacks against commercial shipping. U.S. warships also came into the crosshairs of the Houthis dozens of times in recent years. The Houthis launched anti-ship ballistic missiles and crewed drones at the American warships. None were successful and all were shot down. And just a few days ago, Houthis leader said attacks would resume against shipping in the Red Sea, including Israeli ships. Now, General Kurilla, the head of U.S. forces in the Middle East, has been itching to launch these strikes to reopen those vital shipping lanes and destroy Iran's proxy force in Yemen. Kurilla ordered Truman, the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, back to the Red Sea late last month to be prepared to launch these strikes. And those Super Hornets, as you can see there. Now, last month, the Houthis launched surface-to-air missiles at an Air Force F-16 orbiting overhead, as well as an American Reaper drone.
So, folks, as you can see, these Houthi terrorists have been up to absolutely no good. For years now, they've been running rampant, seizing ships, firing missiles, and outright committing acts of war, definitely acts of terrorism. And that's why Trump's response wasn't just justified, it was absolutely necessary. These airstrikes against the Houthis are taking out their bases, their leadership, and their missile defenses. The Houthis have literally been sinking ships and killing civilians, and now, thanks to President Trump, they're finally being held accountable. This isn't some symbolic gesture. No, it's an operation to cripple their ability to continue waging war on America and global trade. Beyond that, this move projects American strength, which, let's be honest, Biden completely failed to do. Under Joe Biden, the Houthis were totally unchecked, acting with complete and total impunity, terrorizing the region without any fear of retaliation. Trump's overwhelming military response makes it crystal clear. Attacking American ships and disrupting the global economy is not going to be tolerated. And you know what? Speaking of the global economy, let's not forget the massive damage that these Houthi terrorists have already caused. By shutting down one of the most important waterways in the world, they've been costing the U.S. and other nations billions of dollars in trade losses. That's why Trump's decision to restore navigational freedom is so critical. But you know what? This next thing is the most important part about all of this. This entire operation is being handled without putting American boots on the ground or endangering American lives. By using precision airstrikes, Trump is wiping out key Houthi targets without dragging the U.S. into another costly war. This is the right way to deal with terrorism: swift, decisive, and effective. So, folks, here's the bottom line. Trump made the right call here. He didn't wait around, he didn't make excuses, he didn't beg the United Nations for approval. No, he took action to the benefit of everyone around the globe. Now, of course, the radical progressives in the mainstream media are already saying things like, Trump is escalating tensions, but you know what? Here's the truth. The only reason the Houthis thought they could get away with this in the first place is because Biden let them. Weakness invites aggression, strength shuts it down. And folks, that is what just happened here. President Trump just shut them down. But now, folks, before we wrap up with today's video, I want to say real quick that I've actually gone ahead and made a community Facebook page where I'll be posting additional news and updates as it relates to all of this stuff. So hey, if you guys use Facebook, check out the pinned comment down below and give that page a follow. But everyone, that is going to be a wrap for today's video, so please go down below and drop a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this. Please like the video while you're down there. Like I said earlier on in the video, please consider subscribing to the channel because it really does help a ton. Thank you all very much for tuning in today, and of course, as always, stay safe.